Hi there, Casey here, your intuitive business coach, helping you turn your passion to successful and thriving business. In today's daily insight, I would like to talk to you about how do you really deal with setbacks. I mean, have you ever worked on a project and you could have sworn that it will be a great success? It would give you the breakthrough that you were hoping for, only to have it blow up in your face. Or you thought that you would close a new deal with a new client and that fell through too. And maybe you even felt like very disappointed or even really crushed because you could have sworn that it would work out and you just simply couldn't understand why it fail. Why did it blow up in your face? You see, that actually happens all the time. You know, everyone goes through that. But the important piece is not to let it get you down. It is so easy to just give up, say, screw that, I'm done. But is that really what we want? No, right? So today in today's daily insight, I really want to talk about like how you can bounce back from setbacks in order to really keep moving forward and, you know, most of all, with your head up high. Okay, so let's talk a little bit like, you know, what is really a setback. So some call it failure. I like to call it more as feedback or lessons learned because it's not going to be a failure until you actually give up. So it's the things that you really hope for to turn out in a certain way, but it did not. And this could be a launch that you did and you really thought it would, you know, give you great results, but then it didn't give you the results that you wanted. Or maybe a client you really would have loved to work with, but he or she decided not to move forward. Or it could even be a project that you put so much effort into it and it only gave you peanuts in return. Like just like little bitty results here, but nothing what you had hoped for or thought it would give you in return. Or even as small as, you know, like an opportunity that you were really have been waiting for, hoping for, try to manifest really hard, but it didn't show up. You know, now there are really good things. There's a good side and a bad side about setbacks. Now let's talk about, you know, bad first, right? You know, so the bad part about setbacks is that it can really make you pull back. It can hurt your ego so badly that you are pulling back. You might even question yourself and most of all, your ability. Can you really make it? Can you really succeed? It can cause you to change directions. You know, and worst case scenario is you give up. Either give up this project, give up this direction, or give up completely. And we don't want that, right? Now, I had those moments, and I would like to, you know, share something with you real quick. Like I worked on a big project, and I worked on this project for I think about 2-3 months. It was actually a launch that I was working on. Really put in so much effort. I've done all the training, you're figuring out, you know, learning how to do this launch. You know, I had even read the book, The Launch Formula. Even went to Jeff Walker's event. So I was like, yes, I'm going to be able to do this. I mean, this is easy peasy. I can do this. And I actually thought that this launch would give me the breakthrough that I was hoping for, but nothing. All the time that I invested, all the time and sweat that I invested into this, and the effort I put into this project really didn't give me the results that I had hoped for. It was really like peanuts, and I questioned myself, and it did mess with my head for a little while. You know, I pulled back for a couple of days. I'm like, oh my God, what is going on? Why did that happen? But then I really realized, you know what? No, I mean, I really snapped out of it and I saw the good in this failure. And I realized that I actually sabotaged myself, and which caused that failure. But I'm not going to go into too much detail about that. But the good thing about setbacks is that it gives you feedback. For me, I learned that I sabotaged myself because something that I did, I literally sabotaged my success. But it gives you feedback. It allows you then to tweak your approach and also the strategy. It all holds a valuable lesson and a gift for you. And, you know, oftentimes we don't see it right away. We're just like, oh my God, this didn't work. And, you know, I'm a failure. It didn't work. Oh my God. Yeah. You know, I'm pretty sure you can resonate with me. I'm pretty sure you've had something like that before where you were really frustrated because you put so much effort into it and it didn't get you the results. But it's really not a bad thing to actually fail. Like I said, I don't really like to call it failure. It's lessons learned, you know, things that you had to, you know, really realize that maybe you weren't supposed to do it this way. Or it also helps you make tweaks to your approach. So now I know what not to do the next time I do another launch. So I believe that everything happens for a reason. Sometimes you just have to fail in order to learn a valuable lesson. But now, how do you really bounce back from that? Because, I mean, it can really mess with your head a whole lot. If you are putting in so much effort, you're doing all the right things, or so you think you're doing all the right things, and then it really blows up in your face. And us entrepreneurs, I mean, we do a whole lot of projects. We do a whole lot of things, trying to get out there, trying to get the clients, trying to build our business to 6-7 figures. And, we are going to have those setbacks that really can knock us off our feet. But the key is really we need to bounce back. So how do we do that? How do we really bounce back from these so-called failures? The first thing is see the higher truth in the situation. Really allow yourself to see the lessons and the gifts that the situation holds for you. This so-called failure, this setback, what lesson does it hold? Because everything happens to your highest and greatest good. So for me, the reason why my launch didn't go through was because it was not the right time for me. It was not something that I was supposed to be doing. And there's some other things behind that. But, it really, look at it like, what's the higher truth for you? For me, it was like something that I thought I should be doing because I had seen other people do it, but it was not really in alignment with what I really wanted to do. So that's really the reason why it didn't work out for me, because it was not what I truly, truly wanted to do, the direction I truly wanted to go into. So you really want to look at everything that you're doing, like every things that didn't really go work out so well. Don't think about it, like look at it a little closer, take a step back, really take a step back from the whole situation and evaluate it. And really want to look closer, look at it like what did go well, what could you improve on? And you also want to look at like what didn't go well, but don't dwell on what didn't go well. Really, you want to focus on what did go well. And then what could you tweak? What could you improve on? Okay. Because if you dwell too much on this didn't work out, this didn't work out, this didn't work out, then you're staying in a negative vibration and you don't want it. So you want to acknowledge, okay, these are the things that didn't really go so well. Okay. But then you focus on these are the things that did go well. These are the things that I could improve on. This is what I could maybe tweak. But the key is really, you want to keep moving forward. Don't allow these so-called failures really throw you off. And I mean, there are all of the successful entrepreneurs. They failed many times. But was it really failure? I mean, I really believe that you only fail if you give up. Anything else is really just feedback and lessons that you are meant to learn. It only really becomes a failure if you allow this setback to throw you off so badly, to throw you off your course, that you throw in the towel and you give up. That's failure. But just, having a setback and then getting back up and trying to tweak something and trying to see how can you make it better, that is really not failure. That's just a lesson learned, feedback of how can you do it better, but it is not failure. So when you shift your thinking around about that it's really not failure until you actually give up and throw in the towel, it's really not failure. So there's nothing to be afraid of, right? So really don't allow the setback to throw you off. Keep moving forward. See the higher truth in all the situation, all the setbacks, the things that didn't really go so well. See the higher truth in that. Was this really meant to be? Was this really what you were meant to be? Were you truly in alignment with this project, this strategy, this whatever you were working on? Or were you maybe not in alignment? Like I said, for me, it was my big launch failed because it was really not what I wanted to do. I thought I wanted to do that, but I was simply not ready for that at that point. Not saying that I'm never going to be ready for this, but at that point, I was really not ready. I just thought it was a really great idea. So I didn't plan a whole lot. It was simply not in alignment, but really look at what is the higher truth in this situation? And know that everything happens for a reason, and it happens to your highest and greatest good. Even if you might not see it in that moment. That's usually the problem, is we don't see it, and we're so into, so deep into it, this didn't work out, I'm a failure, and all these things. But if you really take a step back and really look at it, from a bird's eye view, you will realize that, it may have just been to your highest and greatest good, that it didn't really work out the way you wanted it. But you can also ask, what was the reason for the setback? You know, one of the things I like to do is, you know, tune in and ask, what was the reason for the setback? The answer will come. Maybe not right away, but it will come. That actually happened to me not too long ago. I had something that fell through and I could have sworn that it was going to work out. But then the next day I had asked, you know, what was the reason for the setback? What was the reason for this not going the way I had hoped for? I really had visualized it. I had felt it. I had, you know, asked my guides for help, but it didn't go through. It fell through. And the next day I got the answer that it was really not to my highest and greatest good. So the answer will come, maybe not right away, but if you're open to hearing the answer will come. Now, if you would like to have some help in like overcoming your setbacks, maybe even tweaking your strategies, maybe there's a strategy that you really were working on, that you're working very hard on, that you would like to implement, but you don't really know if it's going to get you the results that you want, or maybe you've tried it, it didn't get you the results, I put a link below this video. You can schedule a complimentary strategy session with me so we can go over, you know, look at what you're doing so we can help, you know, really stay on track and help you keep moving forward. Now, I really hope this was helpful. I hope this was helpful as far as, you know, giving you a better understanding of, you know, not letting the setbacks really throw you off and really looking at the setbacks as just lessons learned and feedback and not failures. So like I said, you know, if you liked it, you know, share it, hit the like button, subscribe to my YouTube channel. You know, comment below. Let me know how you feel about this. You know, what do you do to stay on track, to overcome, you know, any setbacks, to bounce back from setbacks? I would love to hear from you, you know. So thanks again for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Super grateful that you're here with me. And I will see you next time in the next Daily Insight. And I hope you have an amazing, abundant, and successful day.